I know you from our more mundane job, but outside of here, I am a Western martial arts and historical fencing practitioner and instructor, and I specialize in the fitness needs of various HEMA practitioners and martial artists. I've wanted you to paint me for quite some time, and particularly when you mentioned that you wanted to be focusing on people that are dealing with either physical or mental health issues as well as body positivity, I figured this was a really wonderful platform and something I wholeheartedly support. I see my body as both a temple and a project, and in the last few years of my life, something that sometimes betrays me. 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus after being symptomatic but not knowing what was going on for a few years previous. And especially as a martial artist and instructor and someone that is very physical, it's been a real challenge having to battle with my body on a daily basis and having to take forced timeouts and whatnot. It's always a struggle. Like right now I'm in what's I would consider a mild flare-up, which basically just means I'm able to still work and function. But I'm not able to work out the way I want to. I'm not able to train the way I want to. When things get really bad, I have to go on certain drugs that I don't have to take on a daily regime, which can greatly affect my body and appearance. Yeah, it's hard to see yourself when you work so hard to get muscle definition and to work out, to have to be forced to take steps back. And it always feels like I'm kind of dancing a tango, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's not like I can't grow within my martial arts still and within my other physical training, but it takes me, 4 times the amount of effort and twice the amount of time to do it.
You ready to get painted?
Yeah!
Do-do-do-do.
Great.
I always like to tell people who work there, it's just like, you know what, just pretend you don't know what you're doing to make people feel good. And then pretty much just do whatever you want. Maybe not the best advice for people, but it works. Just pretend you know what you're doing.
Just pretend you know exactly what's going on.
And sometimes you know too much.
Ooh, I like the smell of this paint.
Awesome, great.
Mm-hmm.
It's all based off of like paradise smells and paradise tones.
I like that.
Paradise should sponsor us.
Just saying.
This one hasn't even been touched yet.
Ooh.
It's virgin soil. Well, that happened.
Well. I love that you can see Castle Loma in the background. It's so awesome. In the summer when all the green trees are like going to.
Mm-hmm.
Go into the castle, popping out of forest.
Almost delivery is not delivery.
Delicio. I say Delicio, right?
I feel like they should be blindfolded so they can't even see like anything.
That's a good idea, actually.
Just total mystery.
But I like watching it.
We're gonna have to do that for the next one. That's a really smart idea.
There you go. Or like goggles spray painted black.
Yeah.
We use that sometimes when we're trying to, in the martial arts that I study, when we try to basically get an idea of what it's like or what it would have been like in the 14th century as a sword fighter fighting in an army when you're wearing various helms where you have limited vision. So we'll take goggles and we'll just spray paint all but a small strip, which would have been the visor that someone would have been wearing.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the lower attacks that are coming and rising, you can't see them until they're
Well, I guess that's why they had armor too.
Absolutely. You don't spend that much money and wear something that heavy unless it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Do a bit of a warrior stripes.
Oh, please do.
You can hold your hair
Yes.
back for a second.
Absolutely.
All right, close your eyes.
thing is, it's still very much in like mystery as to what's going on because I can only see like taking certain parts of the body at once, and I can't see anything that's going on with my face.
You shouldn't take any of it until the end. Then it's a real reveal.
But it's really beautiful to kind of watch how things start and grow and how they transform.
Absolutely.
So do you have any transformation stories you'd like to share?
Such as?
I don't know. Has there ever been a point where you feel like, yeah, this was good, this was me, this was what I needed to do?
This is good, this is me, this is what I needed to do. Probably would have been my very first tournament that I fought in. I'd been doing stuff for quite some time, but I had avoided tournament fighting for a few reasons. One, it wasn't my focus. Two, signing up for tournaments was always a tricky thing because I never knew what my health might be in at that given day. And, you know, I'd done lots of symposiums and retreats where these things go on in mediocre or less than mediocre health. And that was challenging enough as it is, but I felt I had gotten to a point as a practitioner and instructor that I needed to do some tournament fighting, and the schools that were fighting at this particular event were all people that I really loved and respected and trusted, which I felt really helped as well. And my very, very final fight in the finals was for the bronze medal, and I ended up being the woman I had to face. Her name is Rebecca Glass, and she's a very good friend of mine, and she was one of the people that really helped inspire me and help me feel like I should be fighting.
Closed for a second.
And there was some kind of irony in that as well, because I felt like this was such a perfect person to be fighting, but there was also this idea of, if I lose, I'm losing to one of my really good friends, which is never a bad thing. But if I win, it means that one of my really good friends is losing. But sort of in the moment, on the spot, right before we started the tournament, I kind of, when we were shaking hands, or in our case hugging, before we started our fights, I just kind of felt inspired to kind of tell everyone there that no matter what happened, like this woman was one of the big reasons why I was here fighting in the first place. And we fought extraordinarily well, and I ended up taking home that bronze medal, and there was a lot of my peers and people that I really respected and had really pushed and helped me get to where I was there watching the tournament. I had even though I'm an instructor, I had one of my instructors, his name's Clint Fernandez. He was my second, he was coaching me through the whole thing. And it felt like just a really wonderful moment for myself as a martial artist, for myself as just myself, but also for my community, and to see just how we treat each other in loss as well as in victory, and just the love and support regardless of such. And it made me feel more dedicated and more passionate about continuing to pursue this art than I had in a long, long time.
So what brought you to Toronto?
I grew up here, but I'd been living in Vancouver for just over a decade. Unfortunately, their healthcare system is different than a lot of the other provinces in Canada, and post-diagnosis, I ended up going very broke very quick and spending a lot of money going through the couple of grand I had saved as a nest egg, just getting the sort of treatment and testing that I needed. So I came back here for OHIP, is what it comes down to.
Fair.
Belly.
Yeah. So the whole concept is you are Mother Nature,
Sweet.
and underneath you.
I like
I like how
it.
it's just like, don't mind me lifting your boobs.
I really don't give it.
I know.
You're like, that's why I'm doing it.
I want it to be like you're looking down on a rainforest.
My room is very much stylized with lots of there's like deer horns, lots of stones and branches, very pagany druid-esque type decor. Feathers.
Well, you are pagan.
Yes.
Yeah. Very much what's the word? Self-identifying?
Yeah, very much so, actually. It's one of the things that I really enjoy as far as
Well, you brought us wine for Saturnalia.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a Roman tradition.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing that I find about most pagan cultures is regardless of where they are, like Saturnalia is a week long, but it starts and encompasses the winter solstice that was celebrated by lots of other nature-based religions. And I think what I really like about it is this concept of not necessarily like this idea of we and our environmental surroundings affect each other. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounds like Jesus was a pretty like cool dude and everything.
Oh yeah, Jesus was great.
But like, why do I have to celebrate the mythicized birth and death of this particular person? How does that affect me now? What still affects me now is when the shortest and longest day of the year is, when we need to be sowing certain crops, when different species of like lambs and cows start lactating in response to being able to give birth to their offspring. And that's stuff that still affects us in our world, and I really like paying reverence and knowledge and like respect to that kind of stuff, especially in our very modern world, which comes with a lot of wonderful things and benefits. We've removed ourselves more from our environments and our connection to them and how that affects us. Plus, any excuse to make mulled wine and give it to your friends is
It's a good one. It's a good
Yeah.
Especially at work. I was just like, that's...
I kind of like I was just like, so I'm just giving everyone a little tiny sip, because like, you know how they'll let us do like little wine tastings or like taste the new draft beer. I'm like, hey, we're just doing that, kind of. Yes.
Just with a religious overtone.
More of a I made this and it's a
Spiritual.
good excuse and I want to share this with the people that I work with.
Matti, have you ever been painted by somebody else?
Yeah, Avila. And I was once painted by someone named Indy. She was a makeup artist friend. But yeah, like I have been painted by other people, which is always nice.
I just wondered.
How's that?
I find that like getting painted myself though is always a very like interesting push-pull experience for me. So I'm always just like, I should enjoy this more, but I'm always just like,
I want to be doing it.
she's like, what am I doing? I don't like having no control. Which is very telling, I guess.
I feel like the canvas does have certain control in regards to like how it is inspired, like acting as a muse for the painter. Each body and each person, you must create something very different for. Weak coffee is just not.
Yeah, week coffees for weeks.
I'm not a person that really, like, I will eat and like recycle and like take everything to its last little bit. But one time when I was hitchhiking with a friend of mine and then we stopped for coffee, the coffee was just so bad and so weak. I could not drink it whatsoever. And I was like, this is the first time I'm ever wasting coffee. It's just so horrid. I feel that I can have a little bit more of a connection with the clientele that we have at Snakes because I can teach them games and stuff like that, which makes me feel like I have a little bit more purpose. But I still feel like there's like all the other jobs that I've worked, be it childcare, working with special needs, being a martial arts instructor, I've always felt like I had something of myself really tied into what I was doing and that I was making a difference. Whereas I'm not the chefs in the kitchen that are making the food. I'm literally just the smiling face that takes your order and puts it on your table. And that does eat up at me.
Oh, I make myself memorable.
Oh, I make myself memorable too, and I have some really great experiences, like I said, with the customers, especially when I'm able to teach or connect with them on a game, which makes it a lot easier, but it's not where I want to be. Getting home certain nights at like 4 o'clock in the morning is not fun. The constantly changing schedule, where as soon as I start getting a personal workout regime in, the next week that can change because, oh wait, I'm working at 2, I can't go and do my workout in the afternoon.
By the way, kids, never do makeup with a full paintbrush because it's really hard and you should never do it. Also, close your eyes if you do something.
I think it's important to be a part of an organization that also will support you in your education as well as in the community.
OPSWA advocate helping PSW. They also help voice out the voice of the PSW to be heard all over Canada.
Now they're talking about different things that can help us PSWs, like autism and Asperger's. This is new education that we need, that we don't get in school as a PSW.
The conference is helping me today by teaching me about all the other programs offered to PSWs and through OPSWA that I had no idea about before, and all the other programs that I could specialize in or that could help me in my field after this.
My name is Miranda Ferrier and I'm the president of the Ontario Personal Support Worker Association, and we want to invite you to come out to our conference. At our conference, we celebrate personal support workers and we understand how important you are to the healthcare field. So come out and join us. You're going to have a great time.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it is.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love the bird.
I love that one.
That's really cool. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, as soon as you take your top off,
It all becomes much more. Oh, that's cool too. Oh, oh wow! Look at the bottom. That's incredible, Matti. Yeah, as soon as the bando comes off, all the good ones come out. I feel fantastic. I love the sensation of being painted and the brush strokes. Being a live canvas is really fun. I really like the bird that's around the collarbone area. That's really neat. I was not actually expecting that whatsoever. Yeah, I'd actually have to say that yes, I am feeling more secure in my body. Like, not that I wasn't prepared to come here. I was actually prepared to get a heck of a lot more naked than I actually did. But being able to be used as a canvas like this, like, definitely is, how can you not feel beautiful?
My name is Heather Cook and I am a dance artist in Toronto. I had a friend, Georgia, who was part of the project in New Matti, and I saw her first canvas picture on Facebook and I was immediately overwhelmed. It was amazing. So I told her to get me in contact with Matti no matter whatever way she could. And then I had my first meeting with Matti and I've been getting painted pretty regularly ever since. This time, anytime that there's an opportunity to be a canvas, I jump right on it. I think I've been painted 9 times now, something like that. And so Matti said that he needed some people, and I was like, yes, I will make time, I will take the day off, I will come and help because I can't wait to be a part of any project. Matti and I did a special project just for me that wasn't released. and that was by far my favorite. It was just him and me in the studio. No one knew that we were going to be doing it, so that I could have some source material for my own art project. And it was a very liberating experience, and when it eventually was released at the 2nd anniversary of the Human Canvas Project, it was incredibly, I don't know, I felt very justified, I felt very beautiful, I felt very strong, and I couldn't wait to share it with everyone.
Alright.
Wow.
Perfect.
I feel really good. I love that it's dragon. It's take me back to my 2nd canvas ever when Matti and I first started our friendship. And it's a different kind of paint than I'm used to. It's very smooth and I can move in it. It doesn't crack or anything. It lends itself very well to movement. I feel empowered that I can take my dragon back and that it's protecting me, Matti says. And that really gives me the strength that I need right now in my transition, and I feel beautiful. And I've had fun with some people that I've never met before, which used to be really hard for me, and now I really enjoy it. It's just the first time I ever got painted by Matti, I was an hour late because I was so nervous, and I brought a chaperone with me, and I don't think I spoke to him the entire time. And now I'm standing here in a room full of strangers like this, just standing in front of a window getting painted, and I feel amazing.
Of course. I'm really happy you missed the table.